Draft night often brings hope, but sometimes it leaves us scratching our heads and wondering what the plan really was. We saw a potential superstar sitting right there at 19, a gift from the football gods that could have changed the dynamic of our offense forever. As a Panthers insider, I felt the air leave the room when that card was turned in. It is the kind of decision that haunts a franchise for years, and we need to talk about why this move feels like a massive gamble now. Makai Lemon was the name everyone expected to hear when the Carolina Panthers were on the clock at 19. He was a top 10 talent who somehow slipped through the cracks, landing right in our laps during the draft. Instead of grabbing the explosive playmaker from Southern California, the front office decided to take Monroe Freeling, an offensive tackle from Georgia. While we always need help in the trenches, passing on a weapon like that feels like a massive oversight, especially when you see what happened next. The Philadelphia Eagles, led by one of the smartest general managers in the league, Howie Roseman, saw the value immediately. They actually traded up with their rivals, the Dallas Cowboys, just to make sure they could snag the receiver at 20. When a team like Philly moves that aggressively for a player you just ignored, it should set off alarm bells in Charlotte. We also have to consider that Dylan Thieneman was still on the board at that same spot. If the goal was to bolster the defense, Thieneman would have been a perfect fit at safety, providing an immediate starter for a unit that needs stability. Even the Chicago Bears recognized that value, taking him later in the round. Now, we are left looking at Monroe Freeling as a project, while other teams around the league are celebrating their new stars. The Next Gen Stats team even listed the Eagles' pick as one of the best value moves in the entire first round, while our selection was noticeably absent from that list. This is not just about one player. It is about the philosophy of this organization and whether we are prioritizing the right positions at the right time. We struggled immensely in the slot last season, and this young receiver would have provided an instant solution to that problem. Instead, we chose a developing lineman who might not see the field for a while. It is a gamble that puts a lot of pressure on the current coaching staff to prove they made the right choice. As fans who have seen this story before, it is hard not to feel a sense of missed opportunity and deep frustration tonight, because the path to winning just got a lot harder for our team. The decision to ignore such a dynamic playmaker at 19 suggests a specific path for the Panthers, but is it the right one? When you look at the production scores for the draft class, the prospect the Eagles took had the third highest rating for a wide receiver in the last 5 years. That is not just a good stat, it is elite territory that rarely falls outside of the top 10. By choosing the tackle from Georgia, the team is betting heavily on the future of the offensive line at the expense of immediate scoring help. We know that our offense needs more than just a wall. It needs guys who can take a short pass and turn it into a touchdown. The young wideout from USC was the perfect partner to pair with Teteroa McMillan, creating a duo that would have kept defensive coordinators awake at night. Instead, the locker room is welcoming a supreme athlete on the line who, while talented, does not offer that same game-breaking potential right away. The impact on the locker room cannot be ignored either. Players want to see the front office bring in the best available talent to help them win now. When a blue-chip prospect is sitting there and you pass, it sends a message about the timeline of the rebuild. We are asking our current roster to do more with less in the passing game while we wait for a lineman to develop his technique. This moves the needle in a very slow, methodical way, which is frustrating for a fan base that is hungry for success today. Think about the what-if scenarios here. What if the slot production remains at the bottom of the league while the guy in Philly becomes a pro bowler in his first year? We have seen other franchises make these kinds of mistakes and spend years trying to find a replacement for the player they let get away. The transition from college to the pros is never easy, but certain athletes have a refined skill set that translates immediately. We chose the long road instead of the fast lane, and now we have to watch as other teams reap the benefits of our decision to focus on the trenches instead of the targets. This draft choice could be the difference between winning a few extra games this year and falling behind in a very competitive division. In the NFL, you do not get many chances to draft a top-tier weapon without having to trade away your entire future. We had that chance without moving a single inch, and we let it walk out the door. This could help them win more games if the offensive line becomes a dominant force, but that is a big if that might take seasons to realize. On the other hand, a reliable target in the slot makes life easier for the quarterback right now. It means fewer 3-and-outs and more sustained drives that keep our defense rested and ready. When the offense cannot move the ball, the whole team suffers, and the risk of failure increases with every stalled possession. We are talking about the basic mechanics of football. If you cannot score, you cannot win. By passing on a high-production athlete, we are putting a lot of weight on the players already in the building to step up their game significantly. It is a high-stakes strategy that leaves very little room for error. If the offensive line struggles despite the new addition, then the entire draft strategy starts to look like a house of cards. We want to see this team compete at the highest level, and that usually requires having elite talent at the skill positions. Simple outcomes are what matter most to us. We want to see touchdowns, we want to see third down conversions, and we want to see the Panthers back in the playoff hunt. Every decision made in April has a direct impact on what we see in December. If we find ourselves struggling to move the chains in late-season games, we will all be looking back at pick 19 and wondering what might have been. This choice was about more than just a name on a jersey. It was about the direction of the entire season. We are all hoping for the best, but the path we chose is definitely the more difficult one. It is a season-defining moment for our franchise. Imagine the best-case scenario for the Carolina Panthers. The new tackle from Georgia steps in and becomes a cornerstone of the line for the next decade. He protects the quarterback perfectly, creates massive lanes for the running backs, and justifies the high pick by becoming an all-pro. In this world, the offense finds its rhythm because the foundation is solid, and we look back at the front office as geniuses for building from the inside out. It is a beautiful vision of sustained success and physical dominance on the field. But now, we must look at the darker side of the coin. What if the worst-case scenario unfolds before our eyes? Suppose the development of the offensive lineman takes too long or he never quite adjusts to the speed of the professional game. Meanwhile, the receiver we passed on becomes an instant superstar in Philadelphia, lighting up the scoreboard and making highlight reel catches every Sunday. The tension in the stadium would be palpable as fans watch the offense struggle to find a spark while a missed opportunity flourishes elsewhere. If this works, we are a tougher, more resilient team that can win in the trenches. But if it fails, we have wasted a premium draft pick on a project while ignoring a surefire playmaker who could have helped us today. The stakes are incredibly high for everyone involved. The front office is betting their reputation on this choice. The coaches are betting their game plans on the current roster's ability to produce. Every Sunday will be a test of this decision. We will be checking the box scores in Philly just as much as we check our own. It is a stressful way to follow a season, but that is the reality of being a fan. We want to be proven wrong. We want the offensive line to be great. However, the fear of seeing another star wear a different jersey is a weight that every Panthers fan carries. The contrast between these two paths is sharp and unforgiving. Only time will tell which one becomes our reality, but the waiting is the hardest part for our fans. At the end of the day, the Carolina Panthers made a choice that reflects a very specific philosophy. They chose the long-term stability of the offensive line over the immediate excitement of a top-tier wide receiver. It is a gamble that ignores the immediate needs of the passing game in favor of a developmental prospect from Georgia. We have seen how much the Eagles valued what we passed on, and that alone should give us pause. The dilemma is clear. Do you build the foundation first, or do you grab the playmakers when they fall into your lap? Be honest with me, would you have taken the risk on the offensive lineman, or would you have grabbed the star receiver at 19? I want to hear your thoughts down in the comments because this is a move that defines our future. If you love the Panthers and want the latest insider updates, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Turn on your notifications so you never miss a deep dive into our team. We are in this together, through every draft pick and every single Sunday. Keep pounding because we deserve better than just projects.